Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are officially putting on our psychological detective hats because we're going to decode a subconscious crime scene. Just imagine having a dream so incredibly vivid, so intensely violent, that it literally jolts you awake in a cold sweat. We are talking about a terrifying, full-blown murder scene here. But what if I told you that this bizarre, frightening nightmare is actually carrying some deeply positive psychological truths? It's true. So let's unpack the hidden messages our minds send us when we're fast asleep and see how our darkest dreams can actually be our absolute brightest guides.
All right, let's dive into this with a really profound thought to guide our whole investigation. Dreams are another reality shown by unspoken true feelings. Now, think about that for a second. We so often just brush off our weirdest dreams, right? We think, oh, it's just random, chaotic firings of a tired brain. But psychology tells us a very, very different story. Even the most terrifying dreams hold secret, deeply rooted truths. They are basically the stage where our unspoken feelings finally get the chance to play out loud.
I want you to think back for a minute. Have you ever remembered a terrifying, vivid dream right before dawn? You know the exact kind I'm talking about. The ones that stick with you straight into your morning coffee and you just can't shake them. Well, in our case study today, our dreamer woke up from an unbelievably intense murder scene dream. It had everything: perpetrators, strange industrial factories, and even a kidnapping. I mean, it sounds exactly like a true crime thriller, doesn't it? But as we investigate the evidence, we're going to see exactly how this nightmare is actually a stunning roadmap to personal transformation.
Okay, let's start with clue number 1, the 3 colored footprints.
Our investigation kicks off with the emotional map of our dreamer. In the dream, they use this special glowing light to reveal these brightly colored footprints all over the floor. Red for the killer, which represents hidden true feelings finally coming to light. Yellow for the accomplice, showing that messy, kind of ambiguous transition period we all face when we're going through a big change. But the absolutely most fascinating one, that's green, the victim. Now, green is usually a color of peace, right? Well, here, the green victim brilliantly illustrates the guilt we feel when we want to end a comfortable but totally outdated phase of our lives. We desperately want to grow, but we feel so guilty for killing off our stable, comfortable status quo.
Moving right along to clue number 2, the mental structure and the light Jeep.
You know, the physical environment in a dream is never just an accident. It's literally the architecture of your mind. Notice how the physical layout of this 2-story building in the dream perfectly mirrors the human psyche. On one hand, we have the second floor, the conscious mind. This is actually where the crime happened in the dream. It's the realm of overthinking, worrying, and just analyzing every little thing. Contrast that with the first floor parking lot. This represents the unconscious mind. It's grounded, it's baseline reality, and it is completely ready for action. It's basically just sitting there waiting for all that anxiety upstairs to settle down so it can finally drive forward.
So the absolutely crucial point here is what was waiting down in that first floor parking lot. It was a light Jeep, not a massive gas-guzzling SUV or some hyper-fast sports car, but a compact light Jeep. Why does this specific little detail matter so much? Because finding a light Jeep means the dreamer shouldn't overextend themselves in waking life. You really don't need a massive, unrealistic amount of energy to change your life. You already possess the perfect, manageable amount of energy needed to navigate the rough terrain and move forward right now.
All right, next up is clue number 3, the airplane factory and 2 choices.
After a bit of a scuffle down in that parking lot, the dream suddenly shifts scenery in a dramatic way. This sudden expansion from a tight little parking lot to a vast airplane factory is a huge, huge shift in perspective. Building airplanes is actually a classic psychological symbol for preparing for new potential and incredible freedom. But notice that last point. The planes aren't flying yet. They are still inside the factory. This means the dreamer is in a highly crucial stage of preparation. The potential for absolute liberation is totally there, but the groundwork is still actively being laid.
Within this massive, echoing factory, the dreamer notices another incredible detail: 2 rows of cars cleanly separated by a fence. Now, this isn't about being indecisive or confused at all. Actually, it means the dreamer is calmly comparing 2 distinct life choices. They are not rushing blindly into either path. Taking the time to clearly observe 2 totally separate directions, divided neatly by a fence, shows a deeply grounded maturity. It's all about evaluating your options before jumping behind the wheel.
Let's move to clue number 4, the knife's true resolve.
We've reached the absolute climax of our dream investigation. This is where the dreamer directly confronts the criminal elements. But before this huge confrontation, the dreamer took 3 very specific steps. 1. Hide under a car. 2. Observe the criminal's internal conflicts. And 3. Wait for the perfect, calculated moment to strike. Instead of rushing in blindly with pure panic, the dreamer just hides under the car. This shows remarkable emotional maturity. It's all about restraining those impulsive panicked reactions that usually just make toxic situations worse, and instead waiting for the exact right timing to make your move.
But here is where the tension really peaks. When a machine gun fails, what is the right choice to make? In the dream, the dreamer tries to shoot the criminals from afar with the machine gun, but the bullets fire weakly, honestly, almost like a splash of juice. It's completely ineffective. And wow, is this a relatable psychological metaphor? Trying to solve deeply rooted problems from a safe distance. Like trying to fix a relationship purely over text message or avoiding a really difficult face-to-face conversation, it rarely works. The safe distance approach just splashes weakly against the real issue.
So what does the dreamer actually do? They abandon the gun and switch to a knife. The knife represents directly piercing the core of the problem with ultimate courage and resolve. Stabbing the chest in the dream symbolizes the immense, hands-on courage required to face a core issue head-on. There is no more safe distance. You have to get close, get your hands dirty, and deal with the very heart of the matter to truly open the door and move forward.
And finally, clue number 5. Child rescue and boundaries.
Once that core issue is faced, the real healing can finally begin. After the fight, our dreamer miraculously rescues a kidnapped child. Let's define what we're actually looking at here. The inner child is a vital psychological symbol. It represents one's pure emotions, suppressed true feelings, and original sensitivity. In the context of our investigation today, rescuing this kidnapped child means the dreamer has finally freed their authentic self. They've essentially rescued their core identity from years of external expectations, the heavy pressure of society, and all those exhausting shoulds that kidnap our true desires.
As the dreamer escapes with a child and a friend, a strange final clue appears. Arms fusing and stretching like mochi. Mochi, if you aren't familiar with it, are Japanese rice cakes. They're incredibly sticky, stretchy, and warm. In the dream, the dreamer and their friend's arms literally fuse together and stretch out just like this sticky rice cake. This symbolizes an incredibly warm, resilient, and deeply unbroken emotional connection between them.
But here's the crucial twist. While fusing like mochi represents deep connection, right before waking up, the dreamer desperately tears their arms apart. Now, is this a rejection of the friend? Not at all. Tearing the arms apart shows a desperate, totally healthy need for boundaries. The ultimate goal here is maintaining your individuality while staying connected. You can love someone and be deeply bonded to them without completely losing your own outline. Pulling away right before waking up was a profound act of asserting personal boundaries without actually destroying the relationship itself.
As we wrap up our investigation today, everything points to one core truth. You already possess the power to move forward within you. We started with a terrifying, chaotic murder scene, but look at what we uncovered. The green victim was really just letting go of the past. The light Jeep was manageable energy. The airplane factory was incredible new potential. The knife was true resolve. And pulling away those mochi arms was simply establishing healthy boundaries. These frightening dream elements aren't bad omens at all. They are incredible proof of the dreamer's inner strength and readiness to change.
So, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. What secret truth is your unconscious mind waiting to tell you tonight? Seriously, stop ignoring those bizarre, intense dreams. Don't just wake up, shake your head, and say, well, that was weird. Investigate them. Look for the quiet, powerful truths waiting just beneath the surface because your mind is constantly trying to guide you toward your own freedom. Thank you for joining me on this explainer, and sweet dreams.